China and the Philippines hold crucial talks. India stampede at religious event. Jose Raul Molino sworn in as Panama's new president. Car hits pedestrians in Seoul, killing 9 people. Cash-based Japan issues first new bills in 2 decades. Einstein atomic bomb letter to be auctioned.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Thursday, July 4th, and here are your top stories. China and the Philippines held a crucial meeting Tuesday to try to ease mounting tension following their worst confrontation in the disputed South China Sea, which sparked fears of a wider conflict that could involve the United States. There was no mention of any major agreement, however, after the day-long meeting in Manila that could prevent a repeat of the June 17th clash at 2nd Thomas Shoal, which caused injuries to Philippine naval personnel and damaged 2 military boats. The shoal off the northwest Philippines has emerged as the most dangerous flag point in the disputed waters, which China claims virtually in its entirety.
VO1, Chinese Coast Guard, Navy and suspected militia ships have surrounded the Philippine Marines aboard a grounded ship to prevent delivery of food and other supplies to Manila's territorial outpost. An agreement was signed to improve communications during emergencies at sea, and both sides agreed to continue talks on enhancing ties between their coast guards, but no details were provided. Another confidence-building plan was the convening of an academic forum among scientists and academics to improve marine scientific cooperation. A Philippine official told the Associated Press on condition of anonymity for lack of authority to discuss the sensitive matter publicly that ahead of the meeting, the Philippines planned to formally ask China's delegation to return at least 7 rifles that Chinese Coast Guard personnel seized during the June 17th face-off at the shoal and pay for damage.
At least 116 people, many of them women and children, were killed in a stampede at a Hindu religious gathering in northern India on Tuesday, in one of the country's worst such tragedy in years. The stampede happened in a village in Hathras district in Uttar Pradesh, about 200 kilometers southeast of the national capital, New Delhi, where authorities said thousands had gathered in sweltering late afternoon temperatures. The stampede occurred where a crowd of devotees started pushing towards the stage after the event to touch the preacher, who was coming down, said Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, India's most populous state.
While the cause was not immediately clear, Hathras District Administrator Ashish Kumar suggested it may have been due to overcrowding at the time when people were trying to leave the venue. Another senior state official, Kshetra V., told broadcaster India Today that people may have lost their footing as they sought water in the heat. She said, "There was wet mud at one place where people may have slipped. Also, because of the heat, people may have made their way to the spot where water was kept, and that could have caused the incident as well," adding that 18 were injured and in the hospital. Police said they had launched an investigation and promised action against anyone found to be responsible, adding that the gathering may have been larger than permitted.
Jose Raul Molino was sworn in Monday as Panama's next president, facing pressure to slow irregular migration through the Darien Gap that connects his country with Colombia. The 65-year-old former security minister has promised to shut down migrations through the jungle-clad and largely lawless border. More than 500,000 people traversed the corridor last year, and more than 190,000 people have crossed so far in 2024, with most of the migrants hailing from Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia, and China.
Shortly after Molino's inauguration, the Panamanian government released a statement saying that U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas had signed a memorandum of understanding Monday with Panama's Foreign Affairs Minister Javier Martinez Aca, in which the U.S. government committed to covering the cost of repatriation of migrants who enter Panama illegally through the Darien. Last week, on a visit to the Darien, Molino announced he would seek an agreement with the United States government to aid in deporting migrants who crossed into Panama. Mayorkas was among those who attended his inauguration. The U.S. role would largely be covering the cost of deportation flights. Panama's Foreign Affairs Minister-designate Javier Martinez Aca said Sunday that the U.S. would help cover the costs, but the amounts were not yet set.
Police said on Tuesday that a driver whose car struck pedestrians waiting at a crowded intersection in South Korea's capital, killing 9 people, will be investigated on allegation of accidental homicide. The car hit several people Monday night in central Seoul after reportedly going in the wrong direction and colliding with 2 other cars. 6 other people were injured, including the driver who was detained. South Korea media reported that the driver told investigators his car accelerated abruptly and unintentionally.
Senior police officer Jung Yong-woo told local reporters that the suspect's car would be sent to the country's forensic agency for examination. Authorities are considering whether to seek a formal arrest warrant for the driver. Officials said Tuesday that tests showed the driver wasn't under the influence of alcohol or drugs. The suspect has been hospitalized, but authorities refused to disclose his identity and contact information, citing privacy regulations. South Korean media said he was a bus driver in his late 60s from Ansan, a city just south of Seoul, with 40 years of driving experience.
Japan issued its first new banknote in 2 decades Wednesday, yen packed with 3D hologram technology to fight counterfeiting. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida praised the state-of-the-art anti-counterfeit feature of the new 10,000 yen, 5,000 yen, and 1,000 yen bills as historic. He told reporters at the Bank of Japan, "I hope the people will like the new bills and they will help energize the Japanese economy." While the new bills were released with fanfare, currency already in use will remain valid. In fact, people will still need older bills to use most vending machines and to pay bus fares.
Kishida noted that the people featured on the bills celebrate Japanese capitalism, women's equality, and scientific innovation. The 10,000 yen bill, worth about $62 at the current exchange rate, features the face of Eiichi Shibusawa, known as the father of Japanese capitalism, a key figure in building Japan's modern economy. He is credited with founding hundreds of companies. The 5,000 yen bill, worth about $30, features Amiko Suda, a pioneer feminist and educator who founded a college. The 1,000 yen note, worth about $6.20, portrays physician and bacteriologist Shibasaburo Kitasato, who was instrumental in the research of tetanus and the bubonic plague.
A letter from Albert Einstein, which encouraged the U.S. to develop the world's first nuclear bombs, is set to go up for auction. Written to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939, the note warned that Nazi Germany might be able to create such weapons and suggest that the U.S. begin its own atomic program. 3 years later, America started the Manhattan Project, which led to the first ever use of the atomic weapon against Japan in 1945. The letter is being sold as part of an auction of artifacts belonging to Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, who died in 2018 at the age of 65.
Bill Gates, who co-founded the company with Mr. Allen, said, "Personal computing would not have existed without him." His personal collection is going on sale at Christie's in New York in September. There will be a range of items reflecting his interest in and influence on computing, but the Einstein letter is expected to be the centerpiece. Estimated to be worth between $4 million and $6 million, the letter was actually written by Hungarian physicist Leo Szilard with assistance from other scientists. It was signed by Einstein because his status as one of the greatest scientific figures of all time made it more likely to get the president's attention. Dated the 2nd of August 1939, just weeks before the Second World War was declared, it warns that Germany may have developed the science to create a nuclear bomb.
The answer for yesterday was C, prompted. The thought of her daughter's wedding day prompted her to lose some weight. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of car hits pedestrian in Seoul, killing 9 people. Number 1, allegation, 指责, 指控. Several of her patients have made allegations of professional misconduct against her. Number 2, abruptly, 突然地, 意外地. He stood up abruptly and went outside. Number 3, unintentionally, 无心地的, 非故意的. The newspaper printed information that was unintentionally misleading. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's it for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wade Lee, your host. I'll see you next time.